Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be a match between Barcode and Yumbo Sung, who is C, here on Fighting Spirit. This is part of a replay pack I got up at the foreign Brood War Discord server. This folder is just labeled Barcode Rank 37. I assume that is the rank on the Korean ladder, and I figure they don't know who it is. But I assume they're very, very excellent. Alright, so top left-hand corner, what was that? This guy just killed one of his probes. He's got 4. Okay, so this player is good enough to where he feels like he can go toe-to-toe with C here. By the way, our green Zerg player, or teal, if you will, with fewer workers than you start out with. That's all I can imagine that is. That was not an accident. You do not accidentally kill one of your own probes to start a game. There's no way. It doesn't die fast. Maybe? If you attack your own stuff, does it warn you you're doing it? Maybe that was an accident. I don't even... Yeah. Alright, someone who's smarter than me explain that. Because I don't know what that was. And if you know what it is, please let me know. Because what? Alright, well, anyway, we've got C down here. He's a pretty excellent Zerg player. Yumbo Sung is one of his Smurf names, found that on the Smurf name list. Out on Team Liquid, which again does a huge service to everybody in the StarCraft community. If you don't have Team Liquid bookmarked or like just know that it exists all the time, I don't know what to tell you, man. You are missing out on a lot of information that is good to know. I look at that place, I look at that website for information about players, I look at it for information about units and strategies, I look for it for replays and information about recent and upcoming tournaments. It's a great website. There's a forum there too, although, like any forum, it suffers from being stupid most of the time. I don't think it's their fault. I think most forums are garbage. Just people given the ability to speak their minds to large audiences does not usually go well. Hey! Forge first, but it's too late to be a cannon rush. They're going to be just a Forge fast expand here out of our Barcode player, who again killed one of his probes a moment ago. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's kind of like what Twitter is, too. It just... There have always been a lot of dumb people in the world. It's just they've only really been able to immediately talk to and affect people within their own village and community, right? And then the people in their own village and the community would be like, your ideas are dumb, stop saying them, and they'd shut them down. And sometimes that was bad, in the case of like Galileo, and sometimes that was good, in the case of people who were dumb and thought, I don't know, I was going to say something like leeching people will cure them of disease, but that actually caught on for a long time. So I don't know, bad ideas we never heard of because they got shut down by their local community. But now you can have bad ideas and be dumb and find other like-minded people on the internet, because every town has somebody like that, and then you think there are thousands of people who think the same way that I do. And yes, it's true, but they're spread out across the entire planet. There's a reason that only 4 people in the whole country have the same idea as you, and you should not be encouraged because you have found more people on the internet to agree with what you're talking about. I think that can apply to a lot of stuff out there. I'm not going to name anything, but you think of dumb ideas and how they've gained traction in today's world, and it's the internet's fault. And that is why. I have ideas about things, you guys. That's an idea, by the way. It's probably a dumb one, too. Let me know. Anyway, nothing too crazy here. This has been incredibly standard. Got a third base coming up north here from C. He's got his lair on the way. The probe is scouting this quite nicely. The Forge fast expand prepared for a Ling attack, and there's not one forthcoming. Unfortunately. I mean, there's some Ling scouting here, but that's not going to get anything done at all. Meanwhile, back in Protossville, it is a Maynard transfer down to his natural base. And does he even have a gateway yet? He does not have a gateway yet. I'm a little bit concerned about this from our Barcode player. Oh, just kidding. There it is. It was warping in right in front of me. Those of you who are missing the Carbot skins, by the way, they'll be back. Just, we're using them sometimes, I think is what we're going to do. We're going to use them sometimes. And then it'll be a surprise when they come, and you'll be so happy to see Carbot skin on your subscription list. Right? Or does YouTube email you lists of stuff you should watch? Because it used to be they just emailed you about... There's a Spire on the way, by the way, from C. It used to be they would just email you about your subscriptions and what was new, but then they started throwing other stuff in there, like stuff you're not subscribed to, and saying, maybe you'd like this. It's really how they've been making YouTube operate for some time now. If you go to youtube.com and you're signed in, it doesn't show you your subscriptions. The first thing it shows you is stuff that's related to other stuff you've watched and recommended stuff. They're just trying to get you to branch out. I understand why they're doing it. It's because if they only show you, as the Stargate comes up here from Barcode, if they only show you stuff from your subscriptions, maybe your subs stop posting things. Maybe you get sick of the stuff that your subscribers are posting and you just go away and you want something new. And if all they ever showed you was your subscriptions, maybe you would stop coming to YouTube at all. And they don't want that. That is the last thing in the world that YouTube wants. They want people to come there. The more people that come, the better. Because they're hosting this stuff anyway, man. They're hosting all of this video anyway. Just billions and billions of hours at it every week. So if you stop coming, that's bad. Fourth base here from C. So very macro style opening here from both players. Is that a macro hatch? Of course it is. The front door from C. So yeah, they want you to come to YouTube. They'll show you some of your subscription stuff, but they'll also show you things you might be interested in. And I'm going to be honest, it works. It's introduced me to channels that I didn't know existed before. And I like them, and I sub to them. And other channels that I used to love stopped posting things, and they dropped off, and that's fine. It's the natural order of YouTube. All right, man, so it's going to be Mutalisks, or at least maybe just a couple Scourge here. It is just a couple Scourge here, because the Corsair opening is real from C. They are chattering in Korean. I assume somebody will be able to translate that for us at some point, but it is not me. Not me at all. Yeah, so we got Scourge out before the first Corsair shows up. That's the delay, man. That's if you go Forge first, it delays that first Corsair by just a little bit, and then you can have the Scourge out no problem. It's just you want to prepare for Lings, then that's what you get. But it's a 4-basing Zerg right now against a 2-basing Protoss, and that is bad news bears. The Scourge makes sure the Corsair cannot stop. The Corsair cannot shoot and move at the same time. Oh, sick. Sick move by C. Brings it in from the north. Micros his southern ones to hit the Corsair as it turns away from the ones in the north. That was good. Hydralisk den done. Hydra speed coming in. Zealots in production from our barcoding rank 37 Protoss, who killed one of his own probes at the start of this game. Getting +1 attack, which is beautiful. He is working on legs, which is always very good. And the Templar Archives here. He's going to need Storm. Because by golly, are we going to see a lot of Hydras out of C here today. A lot of Hydralisks off of a 4-basing economy, and you're on 2. This is bad. This is bad news bears. Got to protect this third base from an oncoming Zealot attack, and there it is. As is tradition, the third base is under attack by Zealots. Scourge scout this. The Lings are moving up to help. There is a Sunken coming up now, but it's going to be a little bit late. You don't need a ton of stuff. There's only 5 Zealots rather than like 9 or 10, which you can sometimes see. Sunken now. All right, man. Sunken here. Delay until the Sunken finishes. It's like 10 seconds away from completing. You really want to attack with the Sunken, and Barcode says there's going to be a Sunken here sooner rather than later. There's also Hydras and Lings, so no. Let's try to hit the natural base. Same story. We've got a Sunken coming up back here. The timing, he's really cutting it close here for C. Seriously, though. I mean, look at this timing. Creep colony, Sunken as the Zealots are dancing around out front. So, not looking super good, I want to say here for our Barcode player. He is going for High Templar, winning Storm here at 8 minutes, which is beautiful for him. And, oh, the Lings can get a run by. Run by. Run by. Not doing that? All right. Not running by. That's cool. That's not GG. I don't think that is. Anyway. Yeah, man. These +1 Zealots, they 2-shot Lings. And it's really bad. Lings do not trade efficiently versus +1 Zealots at all. Unless they have Ground Carapace, which, by the way, they don't. It's on the way. But it's not there yet. The good news for C, that he's on 4-base economy. The bad news is that we're going to have some upgraded Zealots coming to crush his face sooner rather than later. Another Sunken coming up. He recognizes the threat of the Zealot balls. It keeps getting bigger. There are 8 now. I don't know if you want to go in there, man. He doesn't. He doesn't. He is too smart to go in there. So, just keeping pressure on the Zerg player, feinting in. There's a lot of Scourge looking for Corsairs. But boy, howdy, are there not Corsairs out. I'm a liar. There are Corsairs. They're just not out right now. So that's why the number of Scourge exists, is because he knows about the Corsair count. And you want a lot of Scourge for that very reason. Creep colony is up, which is going to be super useful. The Hydras are ready to go too. Zealots attacking in. Here's the Sunken, though. And once again, forced to get on out. Corsairs is really where there's nothing to pick those Scourge out of the sky other than themselves. And they're pretty decent at it. But not when there's this many flying suicide bombers around here. Setting up for a third base now, though, is Barcode up at the 12 o'clock position of the map. Continuing to produce Hydralisks, going for that Lurker aspect. Corsairs, main base. There's nothing for them to kill here, very smartly. Keeping his overlords here by the Hydralisks and the spores. If you want to come in and get them, you can sacrifice your Corsairs to do so. How does that sound? This Hydra was going to be friends. Were those hold position zealots? I think they were. Took a couple shots there and did not respond at all. Run! No, got one. Got one there. Turning around, maybe to try to pick some of those guys off, but nah. Too scary. Too scary indeed. Man, he doesn't want a Ling run by to ruin his third base at all. Getting a cannon first. And then he'll try expanding here. But it is 124 to 101 supply. Protoss player is up on his 2 bases. But we're going to start seeing a really big uptick in supply overall from C. Right now, up until about the 12-minute mark here. He's going for a hive. He's going for more Scourge. Getting more creep colonies. Which does take away from his total supply. Because, again, drones are used to create buildings, all buildings, which means drones are sacrificed to build these things. Third base on the way from Barcode. He's just, man, is he really just making more Corsairs? He's doing this without DTs either. I'm extremely curious about this. He's had the Templar Archives for some time, but I don't think he has any Dark Templar at all. The problem is there is static defense here that can detect in creep colonies, and killing the Overlords won't actually get rid of the detection, as it turns out. So Lurker is going to be beautiful here. You got to start making the Dragoons as we see that count starting to increase from Barcode right there. And Corsairs. Looking for more stuff. There's just not anything here. This has been really well handled by C, I want to say, in the first 10 minutes of this game. He hasn't had to withstand a major attack because he's been prepared for it every time it's come. The Zealots want to catch the Hydras on the open ground. The Hydras want to catch the Corsairs holding still. Nobody is helping with that. The number of units killed so far, I gotta say, is probably under 10 at this stage. Like maybe a couple Zerglings, a couple Corsairs, maybe a Zealot and a Hydra. A couple more Lings going down. But this has been an extremely Cold War-esque passive first 12 minutes. Defiler Mound on the way from C. Oh, nice picking off some of those Scourge there, though. That wasn't too bad. Oh, some free Overlords here. Man, look at this. His work has finally paid off. His persistence has paid off. Nicely done. Not going to supply block C, but annoying nevertheless. Here come the Dragoons, and here's the Storm. Ready? Bam! There be the Storm, laddies. A ton of Hydras die. Absolutely no... Okay, one Dragoon went down. Yeah, the Dragoon tech switch has been pretty good here from Barcode. Whoever the heck you are, man. 314 supply at this stage of the game. 171 supply. This is somebody who is good. And I guess maybe we could try to figure it out based on, you know, playstyle, who this is, but I don't know. I'm not sure that PvZ is played differently enough across the board that we could tell who this is just sheerly based on the amount of, I don't know, the amount of Corsairs that we see, the amount of Zealots. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you know more than I do. Entirely possible and possibly even likely. Anyway, happy to be on 4 bases still is C. Attack coming in with a lot of Zealots and Dragoons. The Zealots are a problem for the Hydras, but not the Dragoons. +1 attack done, and +1 armor is done for the Zerg. Sunken here, helping. Lurkers getting stormed a bit. And injured to some extent. Trying to pick off those High Templar. Got one. Sacrificed a ton of Hydras to do it, but did get one there. Corsairs kind of stuck here, actually losing a couple Corsair to these Hydras. Got to move out of the way, guys. You can't let the Hydras destroy you there. And this group of Zerg is going to get annihilated. Well, at least the stuff that can't run away, which are the Hydralisks. Slings are fast. 17 Hydras in production, though. Good golly, C. That's what I'm liking here. That's what I'm liking here from you. Any sign of a 4th base from the Protoss? Not really. Any sign of a 5th base from the Zerg? Not really either at the stage. It's not like Terran where you can build your main buildings inside your base and then float them out. Actually got to build it on location. It's easier to see on the minimap when somebody is expanding that way. These Lings are actually kind of feisty as they commit suicide. Take a couple Zealots with them. It's not bad. I mean, they didn't have to stand there and die. There were ways out. That must have been Scourge hits. Must have been Scourge hits on those Corsairs. There we go. Starting a 4th base now. 5th base coming up from C. And we've got a Zealot drop here at the 4th base. Storm drop. Storm Zealot drop. Doing all right there. Not incredible. But good nevertheless. These drones could go back to work if they wanted, but instead they are fleeing for their lives. Right past some zealots. Goodbye. Oh, they're coming back where the zealots are, though. No! No, guys, just run. Just run. Sheesh. That was ridiculous. Single zealot gets picked up. A couple hiders getting chopped to death here, too. Shuttle flying around with a High Templar in it. Oh, did it drop up here, too? It did, and I missed it. I'm sorry, but it's over now. As the Scourge catch it, the shuttle kept going, man. I should have figured it had more than one High Templar in it. But as we can see, some damage done, but nothing game-ending anyway. But that's what you got to do. It's just a series of, like, damaging attacks, but not game-ending attacks. He's still doing drops. In fairness, that might have been a good one. As it is 180 supply from C right now, and we're maxed out for barcode. Well, the good news is the 5th base is done for C. The 4th base is done for barcode. Tons and tons of just gateway units here. There is an Archon here. And a couple High Templar too in the mix. But the meat of this is going to be gateway units. Plague. Nope, Dark Swarm's up. Which the Storms are getting through and the Zealots are getting through because the Zealots don't care about your Dark Swarm. More Storms on that ramp as the Hiders try to get in there. More chitter-chatter between these two players. I don't know if that was a smack talk coming out of the barcode player or what. Hydra sacrificing themselves to try to pick off High Templar. And Zealots that are wounded. Not really doing it all that super well. That's a beautiful storm on those Lurkers. They are very low on HP, but they are not dead yet. Observer gets picked out. That's a nice pick off there from C, and I think he might have a bit of an upper hand here. At least until these Zealots come back, in which case they are. Another High Templar taking some shots. Does not actually end up getting killed there at all. Hydras trade pretty well versus Archons, as it turns out. And here goes nothing. In from the top side, in from the bottom side. C trying to get a surround and a killer blow off on this Protoss army. Tons of Lurkers get in there, and everybody falls back to the safety of their natural position with Lurkers right out front. There is a Reaver here and a High Templar, 2 High Templar, both without sufficient energy. The shuttle gets picked off very nicely. In fact, the Lurker's pulling back a little bit, setting up that contain on the natural. And getting stormed. Woo! Down almost dead. Lurker number 2 there. More spines. No detection available. You just got to go ahead and storm where you think those Lurkers are. Ling's handling these Zealots that have been chilling in this potential 6-base location for some time. For C, he clears it out. Trying to expand to a 5th base of his own down in the bottom left here. Nope, C shuts that down. Barcode wanted it, did not get it. Reaver taking down a bunch of Lings. Really good at killing just large numbers of units with small HP, which is what we're talking about with Lings and Hiders mostly. Also pretty good at killing Ultralisks as well. Yeah, the thing about Lurkers is you don't have to engage in them. They're stationary targets, kind of like tanks, you know? You don't have to engage into the tanks. They're really good. You don't have to deal with them unless they are directly attacking your own stuff. More storm happening. Nice plague on that bio there. 167 to 165 supply. This is a really, really close game all of a sudden. Storm again hitting these Lurkers, picking one of them off. The other one's managed to retreat down to the south where they have some reinforcements here. Production tab says 16 Hydras at a time from C. That Archon's dead. Does he even know it? I don't know, man. Are you really coming in here? Wow. I guess Barcode's coming in here. Seems like a bad idea. He's trying it, though. The Lurkers are unsupported at this stage. There's a single Zergling. And Hydra is popping out to try to deal with the remaining Dragoons. Wins that one. C spamming chat after holding that one. Maybe a bad idea for Barcode to go in there, as I said, but 172 to 158 supply in favor of the Zerg player. He has happily held on to. He's taking a 6th base on the right side. His 5th base is happy too. Nobody's killed a base yet. Nobody's even really gotten close to killing one yet either, which indicates we might have some time to go here on this replay, if you ask me. Another drop happening. We're going to pay attention to this drop after not doing super well in the first round. Not going to lie. Boy, am I going to hear about that in the comments. Shuttle finding an angle to drop into the main, where there's still a lot of mining going on. And good evacuation. Decent evacuation. Yeah. Okay, bunch of drones did go down anyway. Hydra's coming back to deal with this, as there is definitely more storm coming out of this guy. Small package, lot of storm. Actually, doesn't even want to land there at all. The Hydralisk is a concern. Holding the ramp to the 6th base, burrowing the Lurker in there, but there's the Reaver. Ready to rock. The Lurker is going to die. This is a pretty intense attack on this base. Most of the army is elsewhere at this moment. Great storm drop in the top right. Shuttle does get picked off, and the Templar are going to die to Hydras too. So yeah, 6th base going to die. I said we haven't seen a base die here. C does lose his 3 o'clock expansion. He's got a lot more income where that came from. He's going to be okay. He could afford to lose that one. Not a huge deal. Drones transferring to the south, getting massacred. Just absolutely wrong place, wrong time kind of a situation. Shuttle doesn't take a hit at all. Actually, Reaver's in the mix. Coming in, that Reaver transition really, really good for the Protoss player versus all of these Hydras we've been seeing. Zealots taking a long time to die in the mix there too. Archons in the front, and suddenly C is in a lot of trouble, losing that 6th base. It looks like this 4th base might actually end up falling too, but surprise flank attack from Hydras, but there's Storm, and there are Reavers, and the Reavers are slowly getting whittled down, but there are still 3 of them present. The Archons doing some serious work, 11 kills on that one. Lurkers burrowing in to deal with the Reavers, getting some hits off, but not killing any of them before they get lifted. Engagement in the middle here at the 4th base. Hydra's taking the high ground, trying to deal with the Zealots. If you can't deal with the Zealots, you can't deal with the Archons all that well, but the production is insane for C right now. He might be able to hang on here, but Reaver's coming up the ramp. 4th base still in a heck of a lot of trouble right now. 27 kills on that Reaver, 12 on that one, 15 and 9 kills on the Archons. And it looks like whoever this barcode player is may have put a bit of the nail in the coffin there. It's 145 to 107 supply in favor of the Protoss. He might not end up taking down this 4th base, but he did enough damage to what C is trying to do here that he may have taken him out of this game entirely. Why on earth are all these overlords over here? I assume they have drops, but there's nothing in there. The Hydras are doing pretty good, picking off some of these High Templar there. The Archon count is insane, though. Archons, to deal with them, you do definitely want Hydras. Ooh, Observer picked off, but there's more detection available. You got to get that second one, man. That second Observer is the problem, as it turns out. Oh, is he taking the center base? Oh, Barcode is feeling incredibly confident right now. Sure, the replacement 6th base has been taken by C in the bottom left-hand corner here, but how long will it survive is the question. Taking the center base, honestly, who does that? Barcode does, whoever he is. Maybe Stork? You think this is a Stork player? I don't think it's Bisu. I think Bisu would have an easier time with this game. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing engaging with this army right now. These Zealots are just tanky as all get out. They are sitting on a +3/+2, where 2 is the armor, as well as +1 shields for the Archons. Lurkers are sitting at 3/2 themselves, with +2 as the attack. More Lurkers in production here, just pulling back to a defensive position is C. Again, still has the 4th base, still has the 3rd base, still mining, well, I was going to say from the main, but not anymore. Mining from this 5th base down south. But the Archon, the army has found this bottom left area. The Lurkers, are they enough to destroy all of this? No, because the Observer shows up and picks it out of the ground. Bottom left-hand base is toast. He wishes he had a Nidus Canal here, doesn't he? I bet he does. Storm on the Lurkers on the high ground. That is how you break a ramp that is protected by Lurkers, is gonna be Storm. Ah, the Lurker eggs holding temporarily here just for the time being. And then reburrowing up top. Guess what? There was a Storm ready to go. He hadn't used all of them. There were still 2 remaining. The Zealots really trading well versus these Hydralisks, but slowly getting whittled down just because of the reinforcements that are coming in. Lurker's trying to save this bottom left-hand 6th for Sun or C, but it's not happening. Overlord's getting destroyed, but not supply blocking C because he is at 102 out of 187 available supply. I think it's going to be a Protoss win, ladies and gentlemen. Just too much Protoss. The drone massacre at the 6th base is real. There's nowhere for them to go. Overlord scouting around, just trying to see what the mining situation is for the Protoss player. Can I still stay in this game, he says. Well, the middle base has been taken by the Protoss, and your army supply is abysmal right now. It's mostly Zerglings, which are not going to do super well versus all of the Zealots that are here for sure. And whatever Archons are alive. 18 and 18 kills on those Archons. Did they come from all the way up here, down the middle, and wipe out 2 bases? I feel like they did. Man, it's so chitter-chattery. These guys, they must know each other a lot. Mutalisk tech switch, but there are Archons and there's Storm. It's a desperation play here from C. More Storm drops in the south here. High Templar with 6 kills, left behind by the shuttle. And murdered. Mutalisk. Ooh, actually here to pick off those High Templar. And dodging Storms pretty well. Not bad. I don't think he lost a single Mutalisk there, and he's just destroying this High Templar count. Okay, that's interesting stuff. 165 to 104 supply notwithstanding, the High Templar count just got dropped to approximately 0. Mutas are picking off probes in the center section. Just APMing his face off here is C. 200, 300 APM right now. Probes going down, just delaying, trying to keep the Protoss player at home so he doesn't come up and try to murder everything from C. There is no way this is a C comeback. Did he just take off an observer? He did. Splash damage just killed an observer because it splashed off of the Zealots back up into the sky. Does he have detection? How is he doing that? I think he targeted. Alright, anyway, the Archon Zealot army is here. 20 kills on that Archon. Archon count is too high to save this southern base. No. Not going to happen. There's just too much Protoss here. The Mutalisk tech switch was remarkably effective and did a lot of stuff there, but he was too far behind after losing yet another base. Barcode has some stuff to say. I don't know what it is. He's going for drops. Where's the Dark Swarm? His Defiler play has actually just been pretty much non-existent for the time being. But here we go. If all we've got here are cannons, well, and Zealots. I guess there's no Dark Swarm, though, so that's a problem. All the mutas are getting wiped out. This final engagement, that's got to be your good game, and it is. C taps out, and Barcode is your winner in 28 minutes and 25 seconds. Yeah, the mutas did some fun stuff there, for sure. The drop attempt would have done so much better if there had been some Dark Swarm. Also, Plague would have been amazing against all of this bio. I don't know. I don't know what C was thinking there. I liked the Hydra play. The Lurker play was good too, but you got to have those spellcasters. That's what allowed. I mean, it's a major reason that Barcode won this game, where the High Templar, the Storms are on point pretty much consistently throughout the game. In addition to turning themselves into Archons, which isn't really a spellcaster thing, but anyway, you need them regardless. Yeah, he had some nice Dark Swarm early, but then just kind of gave up on it. If anything else, Plague would have been fantastic. Plague would have been so good if he had just topped some Plague on these Zealot balls and then brought Lings in to help out, Lurkers, Hydras to help out. The Zealots would have died much more quickly, and then you could have gotten to the Dragoons and the High Templar and the Archons without that buffer happening. So, good game, though. I mean, really well played. Just essentially a 4 into a 5 base economy there from a Barcode throughout the match. Never really seemed in a hurry. Didn't seem impatient. Just slowly started wiping out bases, killing 1, 2, 3, and 4 bases over the final, I want to say, 8 minutes of the game to get the win. So well done by him. We'll figure out who it is, maybe. But if not, a tribute and a inspiration and inspiration to all Protoss players everywhere. Okay, let's check out that final score as we like to do. Hey, hit that like button, though, in case you're still around. 281,000 points for the Protoss, 252,000 for C. 774 Zerg units produced. Kill 253 Protoss units out of the 363 produced. That's not going to get it done under any circumstances. And then resources, despite the fact that C had all those bases for all that time, he wasn't able to be cost-effective enough with it because he didn't have the Defiler play that he needed to win this match. Defiler play. It is a bit of a... it's a problem. It's a problem for some people. All right. Good stuff. It is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.